Great Yarmouth and Beyond, November the 8th, 2019. At the beginning of an unsettling November, my initial resolve to explore and wander along the East Anglia coast returns. Wanting once more to break away from my sedentary life in Cambridge, I vow to set my books aside and, as soon as the weather permits, take a train to Great Yarmouth, a coastal town about 33 miles south of Cromer. I know little about the seaside destination except from reading an early chapter in David Copperfield, in which Dickens describes David's first visit to Mr. Peggotty's dwelling on the Yarmouth shore, a ship-looking thing, where David listens to the wind howling out at sea and coming across the flat so fiercely that he imagines the great deep rising in the night. I also know that Yarmouth once flourished as a popular resort, that from the mid-19th century up until the 1950s, holidaymakers from all parts of the country had flocked to its seafront to enjoy the cool sea breezes and variety of entertainments. In its heyday, Yarmouth was almost as frequently visited as Brighton. Notices in the local newspaper often celebrated the arrival of strangers. On July 15th, 1863, for instance, the Yarmouth Mercury revelled in the fact that 5,000 excursionists had arrived from Newmarket and Bly. And on August 28, 1867, this newspaper boasted that from 15,000 to 20,000 persons had been seen promenading on the Marine Drive. This abundance of visitors was, of course, not to last. Like most English watering places, Yarmouth never fully recovered from the effects of the two world wars. In the ensuing years, it met with other difficulties, especially in the 1950s and early 60s, when well-to-do and middle-class holidaymakers abandoned the British seaside in order to travel abroad or take advantage of packaged holidays in the Mediterranean or Portugal. The resulting cultural and economic shifts were disastrous for many seaside towns. Though Yarmouth continued to be a holiday destination, it struggled with harsh economic realities and alterations, such as increasingly outdated and run-down accommodations, the loss of a wealthier patronage, and an influx of low-spending working-class visitors. Friday, November the 8th, 2019. As if pandering to my wishes, the weather suddenly and surprisingly promises to improve. That is, no rain is predicted for the weekend. I checked the train schedule to Great Yarmouth and am delighted to learn that in just 2 hours I can again be on the East Anglia coast and with only one change. So once more, armed with my rucksack and a plastic bag holding a novel, an extra pair of shoes, a banana, and a hotel reservation, I hurriedly leave the bustle of late afternoon Cambridge and board the train. The realization that the chill and gusts of November will have chased the few remaining visitors of summer away comforts and encourages me. There will be space to enjoy my solitary rambles. Approaching Yarmouth, however, I wonder how seriously I should take the college registrar's departing warning that the town is rather rough and that I should be careful. The evening darkness has already descended upon the almost deserted Great Yarmouth train station. Thankfully, I find a taxi that drives me to the Fursdown Hotel, a snug 3-star accommodation that has been managed by the Garrard family for over 60 years. A glowing electric fire, a bar, a modest restaurant, and the friendly owner are comforting. My special rate room, however, is not quite as hospitable. The floor slopes. The bathroom linoleum crinkles and cracks under my feet. The iron head of the bed bends forward, and the bed itself dips sideways. Furthermore, the walls are thin. I can hear the people next door walking around, and late into the night, loud music and wild laughter from the bar below wreck any possibility of rest. Fortunately, at midnight, as is required by law, the landlord puts an end to it. "Hurry up, please, it's time." At last, all is blissfully quiet. I peer out of my attic window and gaze at the night spread out against the sky. A full moon tentatively steadies itself above an invisible but perpetually restless sea, which I can hear whispering in the dark. I notice that the landscape is desolately flat, a great dull waste. No rise interrupts the lay of the land, no cliffs here. The sea and the shore, as well as the broad scape behind the hotel, are continuous. It is as if a paintbrush has swept across the canvas in one long, unbroken, level stroke. Like David Copperfield, I cannot help wondering if the world were really as round as geography books claim. But, like Charles Kingsley's Alton Locke, I am relieved that I shall not have to negotiate the dawn ups and downs in a landscape that is as flat as a barn door.